Representative. How may I direct your call?
I'm needing to talk to Representative Ryan.
Is that Representative Ryan Lauer?
Yes,
or
ma'am.
Caldwell?
Lauer.
Okay.
Lauer.
Just a minute. I'll transfer you to his office.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Staff, this is Spencer.
Yes, my name is Stephen Michael Schroeder, and I'm calling to get in contact with the representative about what he's going to do about the House chambers violating constitutional law. What I really need is...
So what representative?
Ryan Lauer.
Okay. How are the House chambers violating the Constitution?
Well, if I had a contact information where I could send him the information, I could go in detail, but just to keep it brief for you, the House Chambers has discriminated against Protestants by censoring their free speech and free expression by not allowing the name of Jesus Christ to be spoken in the House Chambers. The same House Chambers that allows the pagans' pantheon, from Janus, the god of the doorways, to Apollo, to Ceres, to the triple goddess of the Crossroads, all these pagan entities in the House Chambers, but they don't allow the mention of Jesus Christ. Okay, so there's discrimination going on. There's promoting of paganism over Protestantism. Okay, and they're basically practicing witchcraft in the Capitol and high sorcery, because what they do is they use visual aids like images so they can transmit the voice of the serpent, who from the beginning was saying you can be equal to gods. And that ritual or that practice of transforming things into deities is called the Apotheosis. And the Apotheosis was the name on the original contract signed September 5th, 1961 with the state. And somebody sometime changed the name to the Spirit of Indiana so people wouldn't realize that the state capitol is actually practicing sorcery and witchcraft with this ritual of using images that can speak. And that's just one of many, because there's plenty of different preferences given to paganisms over Protestants, like your state poem's third sentence, which says a pagan voice within me seems to answer to it all. I mean, could you see if a state poem said for a Protestant voice within me? Okay, so there's that. You're talking about the state capitol had a 10 Commandments monument that didn't include the second commandment, forbidden graven images, and then included a graven image of a bare-breasted sun goddess directly on the tablets, profaning and desecrating the sacred tablets. That's what pagans do. They delight in desecration. And that's just one of many examples. I mean, we got it down there at the federal obelisk, at the War Memorial Plaza. The War Memorial Plaza, the memorial itself is a temple to their goddess Ishtar, the 8-pointed star, the Star of Destiny. They got the cross and commandments in her temple, just like they did with Dagon, as possessions. And the state capitol has said that the 10 Commandments is just another piece of state property, meaning they can do with it as they want to, desecrate it, profane it like they did. Okay, I had to remove that personally myself with civil disobedience and go to jail and pay the price for it. And then Governor Frank O'Bannon tried to replace it, and I had to go to court again. And this time we prevailed. Judge Sarah Evans Barker said it was unconstitutional, and it was. But they didn't even go on the merits of it being desecrating and profaning our religious symbols. Okay, now outside of that War Memorial Temple is the federal obelisk, a huge black granite federal obelisk. And an obelisk is the religious symbol of an erect penis of their god of earth. Okay, and for you to display the 10 Commandments and the cross on such an offensive abomination is the ultimate in desecration and profaning. And then on this 8-foot cross you have on this obelisk, it's not a human figure of a Jewish carpenter. It's the snake goddess. Okay, so this profaning and desecrating of the two most sacred symbols of this Judeo-Christian nation, and nobody do anything about it. We're going to start with the House Chambers. I'm not following no documents. I'm not trying to get the ICLU. Last time the ICLU tried to hijack my personal case against the state capitol with their 10 commandments, he presented false information to Judge Barker, stating that the commandments that I had removed included the second commandment, which it did not. And fortunately for me, I worked in the federal building for 7 years as a supervisor for the security there. I knew where Judge Barker's private chambers were. And before the case, I gave her information about what the real problem, the real challenge to the state's 10 Commandments monument was. And she entered that in evidence. So I don't need no lawyers. I don't need to file anything. I just need to remind the lawmakers of their obligation to their oath that they took in office. And this stuff has got to cease. And it's going to begin with the House chambers removing that mural. And for a quick remedy, I would suggest a big red curtain to cover it up so the lawmakers are no longer bewitched by these pagans' pantheons images that are echoing the serpent's mandate. Number one, to make the image, and number two, that the image has the ability to speak the sermon of the serpent, and that is that we can become equal to God.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
I certainly can pass that message along.
Okay, well, I sure appreciate it, and I'd like him to get back as far as, is there a web address or an email address that I can send him this information so he can clearly comprehend what's going on?
H59@iga.in.gov.
Okay. Yep. Let me.
Could you repeat that once again? IGA.gov?
So, iga.in.gov.
IN.gov. Okay, and then just put it to his attention, or can I contact all the lawmakers at once, or?
Just put it to Representative Lauder's attention.
Okay, will do. I appreciate your time.
No problem.
All right, thank you. And that is that.